Monday Night Raw review. Don't forget to hit like, follow, subscribe. Breaking down Monday Night Raw from last night. Well, we see Dominic Mysterio, Liv Morgan rolling in. Got the hydraulics bouncing up and down on the car. And then they're coming into the building and we see Bronson Reed attacking Braun Strowman. They just keep brawling and brawling and brawling. They did some more brawling later in the night. Thought it was a great way to start the show. You intermingle some storylines together, and just overall as a whole, last 2 weeks specifically, Monday Night Raw has done an incredible job of making everything matter and intermingling them together. It's just a lot of great storylines going on Monday Night Raw. Just like, they don't just throw matches out there just for the sake of having a match, which, if we're going to compare things to AEW, they do that quite often. They've gotten better about having some storylines of their own. But we're talking about Monday Night Raw. And Liv and Dom come to the ring. They get interrupted by Rhea Ripley. I thought this was some really strong stuff from Mommy here. Says that to Dom, that come bad blood, Liv and Rhea's title match. Dom, you're going to be where you should be, and that's behind bars. As soon as she said that, I'm like, yes, shark cage. I heard people talking about it on social media and everything. Have Dom hang from a shark cage. We're going to get it, baby. We're going to get it. I loved it. Thought, again, just Rhea, man, the way she was putting things, just believability-wise, I believed everything she said, and that's why she's number one right now in my women's top 10. You can check that out at thetopropepodcast.com. Opening segment, an A. And I think I pretty much got everything in here. I may have missed a match or two, missed a couple of segments, but for the most part, we're going to cover it all right here, right now. We're already into it. Let's keep rolling. Sami Zayn, Ludwig Kaiser. Good match. I thought it showcased both men nicely. Zayn with a haluva kick for the win. Gunther comes out, tries baiting us into thinking he was finally going to say yes, but he still says no. I liked it. I didn't think it was as strong as the opening segment, but match was good. Promo was pretty good. I give it a B. We get the New Day backstage. Great dynamics right now with the New Day. Kofi bringing out the old stuff, the trombone, the bootios. Xavier's like, oh, that's not what I meant whenever, they were trying to get things back on the right track and get some wins, win another tag team championship. He's like, yeah, no, I didn't mean like that. He's like, Kofi says, well, okay, Xavier, you can call the shots. You can call the shots. American Made interrupts. They trade some jabs, sets up a match. Good stuff. Man, we got the New Day 20-year anniversary coming up in November. That would be the absolutely perfect time, and I do think that's the route that they are going for them to have Xavier Woods turn, or maybe it ends up being Kofi Kingston. Maybe they swerve us and Kofi's the one who ends up turning on Xavier Woods. Because Kofi, out of all three of those men, you could argue Big E because he won the heavyweight title as well, but Kofi won it, Kofi Mania and all that stuff. Like, Xavier Woods does a good job, but Kofi's the bigger star. Sure, if you have Xavier, you turn him heel, it sets up an immediate rivalry with him and Kofi, but are the people going to still care enough to boo Xavier after that? I would argue that if they swerve us and it ends up being Kofi who turns heel here, that he could have a better heel run than Xavier Woods. I don't know. I'm into it, though. I give that an A. Dragon Lee, JD McDonough. Dragon Lee's got some cool intro and a cool gear. I wasn't sure if I was exactly sold on him, and I'm still not exactly per se, but I'm liking him more and more. It does look like the future of Lucha Libre, as Rey Mysterio called him. What a hell of an honor to bestow upon a young man from a future Hall of Famer. I don't think he's in the Hall of Fame yet, no. Yeah, Dragon Lee, JD. The ending move could have been a little bit better. It seemed like the crowd wasn't as high as they should have been. Excuse me, whenever Dragon Lee hit his finisher. But it wasn't bad. LWO and Judgment Day getting involved naturally. Ray, man, he got a big pop when he came from the crowd. Decent stuff here. Give it a B-. Supposed to have The Miz versus Bronson Reed. Well, that never happened. Braun Strowman interferes before the bell. Again, because Reed attacking him backstage to start the show. So now we get Braun Strowman attacking him. Oh, man, what do you guys think? What's been the better of the 3 brawls so far? The last 3, well, I guess one, yeah, the last 3 weeks, I do believe. Maybe we had a week in between, I'm not sure. I really love this. The tsunami to the security. Oh, man, so good. Then we get both men with double clothesline to one another. They both go down. Then I think they went up for the superplex. Because before that, I was like thinking, man, whenever they have their match, I guess apparently it's going to be next week. I would argue it's worthy of a pay-per-view. But whenever they have this match, the ring's got a freaking break. We haven't seen that in a long time. We've already seen the turnbuckle, maybe giving subtle hints to that. Maybe not so subtle. But foreshadowing a potential ring break between those 2 men. They both just keep destroying the security. We don't get the superplex, but they both just beating down security, coming back to each other. Good shit. I don't always believe whenever wrestlers just keep breaking through security. A couple of small guys, and you got 10, 20 security guys out there. It's like, come on, man. Of course, the security's going to be able to hold them back. Give me a freaking break. Well, this was believable. You get 2 guys like Braun Strowman and Bronson Reed destroying security. To me, it's kind of pretty believable. I loved it. Gets an A. The Drew McIntyre promo, good. Not as good as CM Punk's, though. B+. Damage Control versus the Unholy Union. Tell you what, I am more and more into Io Sky now than I ever was whenever she was a champion. I'm not saying she had a horrible title run or anything. It just wasn't fantastic, but I don't know. I'm still not sure why exactly I'm supposed to cheer them, but I want to, and I'm not the only one. The crowd formally behind Damage Control. I'm into it. It's a solid match, better than I thought it was going to be. I'll give it a B+. And I don't know, what do you guys think? Damage Control, it might actually look like a credible threat to the women's tag titles held by Jade and Bianca, even though both teams are faces. If not them, maybe Nia, Tiffany, Bayley, Naomi. All 4 of them women, though, they have plenty to do right now already, for now. But to me, those are the only 3 credible teams to battle Jade and Bianca. Unholy Union, okay, they had a short title reign, but to me, they're firmly in the mid-card booking. New Day, American Made, Xavier Woods' anger cost his team. Smart. Give that match a B. Damian Priest vignette says, I am my brother's keeper. And he is. Finn is not. Told the story of Finn's jealousy. Did a great job, A-. And then we get the main event on Raw. I've done a little ring announcing for independent wrestling in my area, and whenever I do that, somebody's going to steal this, but whatever. I like to do, this is your, and I do a little spin around for the crowd so they can pop as I'm saying your, involves them, it's their main event, and I'll say main event, yada yada. Anywho, IC title championship match, Braun Breaker, Jey Uso. Jey's never won a single titles in 16 years, I believe it is now on the roster, 14 or 16. A little slow paced at times, but not in a bad way. Breaker flying from the ring apron onto the announce table was solid. Crowd chanting all night long, all night long. That was a new one for me. I've never heard that. I like it. I like it a lot. And then we got some This Is Awesome chants. Breaker with the leap up to the Frankensteiner. Oh, incredible, man. does it so perfectly every time. And I hate to make this comparison, but, you look at a guy like LA Knight, as over as LA Knight is, like his in-ring still at times not as good as Bron Breakker, and Bron Breakker's still very early in his career. Because, LA Knight leaping up, we've seen him miss. We've seen him miss the other night. We've seen him miss a couple other times. I haven't seen Bron Breakker miss one time. Just saying. It was incredible. Another "This is awesome" chant after another all night long chant. Prior to that move, get the spear on the outside. Uso counters inside with a spear, though, of his own. Then the Uso splash and the 1, 2, and then Breakker kicks out so damn close. Bron, incredible at kicking out for some absolutely outstanding false finishes. You rarely, if ever, see him looking at the ref. One of my, I don't know if it's a pet peeve per se, but it's one of the things I look for in whether or not, people are still quote unquote green, or if their believability for me in the ring, like, it's just one of those small telltale signs for me. And it comes back to believability, because if you're going 1-2 and then eyes are, I'm watching the ref's hand, then I'm like, okay, cool, you're kicking out. Bron Breakker, nuh-uh. That ain't happening with Bron, baby. No, sir. He's next level, man. Uso, spear through the barricade. We get some holy shit chants ringing throughout the building, and an Uso spear again. And then he goes up, hits the Uso splash, I believe, and Jey Uso, he wins! Wow, first ever singles title, A+. So happy for Jey Uso. But is this the right call? Is this the right call? I don't know if it was or wasn't, but I think both men will be absolutely 1,000% fine after this, especially Jey, of course. He won the title. He can have a good Intercontinental Championship run, but, you put the title on him. What does that do for bringing the bloodline back together? Does that put a halt on that? Or are we not going to see that anyways? I would think we would, but maybe not. Leaves some doubt to it now that Jey Uso's the Intercontinental. I'm not saying, of course, you could still be the Intercontinental Champion and rejoin the bloodline. Yeah, that could happen too, but usually, whenever I see somebody the champion, I don't see him too much get involved in just personal other storylines. Like, we got to have a lot of storylines, so excuse me. So we'll see. We'll see. I think for Bron Breakker, it sets him and Gunther up maybe sooner rather than later. I don't know if that's a good thing, because whenever Bron goes for the title, I want to see him win the damn thing. So to me, it was kind of maybe a little bit early to take the title off. We only had, 1 or 2 defenses? Does that hurt? Does that hurt his stock? Losing it that soon? I don't know, man. I don't know. I think Bron will be even more ruthless and vicious. I'm not sure. We shall see. I think he's just too good of a talent not to bounce back, but they got to make sure they get him involved, keep him in some storylines that are going to be good for him and elevate him and showcase him as best as they possibly can, because they have a rare talent on their hands. I think when it's all said and done, he's going to be better than his dad, for sure. His dad was a great tag team wrestled, but, singles wise, not so much. And better than Big Papa Pump Scott Steiner. I think so. And you should be, if like evolution of things, the in-ring stuff has gotten so much better over the years. People, athletic ability, but just in their learning ability and doing things on the mic. And think about this too. Back in the day, so much substance abuse going on and pills and drugs and everything. How much did that hurt those guys on what they were doing, Like hurt their ability to be the best that they could be. Interesting. I don't know. This thought came to my mind. Talking a little philosophy here on Monday Night Raw review. Maybe that's just because I got done doing my philosophy podcast, the Winding Road podcast, which you can check that out along with Ace Adventures, my other show, Disc Golf Journey if you're into disc golf. That is all at Gary Martin Media here on YouTube. But sign me up for Braun Breaker and Gunther, man. Sign me up. I already gave that an A+. Top 3 Monday Night Raw moments. Jay winning. Bronson Reed, Braun Strowman, brawl for a third time, and then Liv and Dom being interrupted by Rhea Bloody Ripley. Mommy on the mic. My top 3 moments from Raw. Overall, another really, really good. Great. I'll say a great Raw. Continues, as I said earlier, to thread stories throughout. Everything has meaning. I'm going to give it an A. Don't forget to hit like, follow, subscribe, all that good jazz. Yeah. God bless.